you very much. Let me start by congratulating you on
Thank you,
the successful opening of the shop. How did you feel that day when you saw all your
sir.
clients, friends, family members, everybody?
Well, it's one thing to put in effort. It's a different thing to see the outcome. I felt really glad and happy that people came, especially intimate people, people that have known your brand over the years, friends, customers of a long time. Because one thing that is very important for me is to keep my customers. Customer retention is really, really important. And the only way we're able to, or we're going to be able to do that is to ensure that we give out good stuff so that they're happy to come back, especially when you're selling products that are not cheap. It takes a lot of personal interest from the customers, from the effort you put into the work for people to want to come back. So yeah, it was a very good experience for me.
I also noticed how you took the time to get the store to look the way you wanted it to look. Can you tell us a bit about the what went into it?
It was a lot of work to do the entire decor setup and to have it the way it looks. Not that it's 100% the way I would have loved for it to be, but I think we did a great job with what we set out to do. And it took us time because largely Nigerian factor. People that you are doing stuff for you can be very, very, very daunting to manage, especially artisans. So the large delay was basically because of a lot of corrections, a lot of modification, them not turning up sometimes. So it caused the work to drag a bit. I thought within 6 weeks we'd have been able to finish this stuff, but it took us about 3 months. And this time rent was already reading. So but eventually it came out well, turned out really nice. I'm grateful that I could bring to bear what I conceptualized and have it manifest in its real form. It's a rare privilege and a gift and grace for you to want to do something and be able to do it. Yeah.
I can also see that your new store is quite visible. People see it as a was that intentional? Was it deliberate?
Of course, we have to be intentional about everything we do as a brand. What we need visibility, no matter how much of social media presence we have, we still need to be able to validate the brand in terms of proximity to customers, the easy access for people that are even coming from the island or the mainland. So this location is quite strategic and it was intentional. I've been looking for a store for over a year, trying to find a really strategic nice location. I was initially considering Lekki axis, but some of the things that I saw in terms of the size, even the one that had good visibility, the size was not as appropriate. And the ones that the size was adequate, the location was not as visible. So we had a bit of all that and it delayed why it took a while. But I feel like I'm blessed with this location because one day I was just driving past and I saw it. Even the ones I engaged agents to find, they didn't give me anything as nice as what we eventually got. So yes, the location needed to be visible for us to have more foot traffic. The location needs to be visible for it to be easier for even online customers to access the store. And yeah, basically that.
Okay, so how old is the brand?
The Milolar brand is 7 years now. Yes, from the time we started as Gap Grey Couture, which was what the brand initially was, and that was coming from a combination of my daughter's name, Gabrielle and Greta, because I initially set out to do children clothing. But as I struggled a bit with that and the brand evolved, I realized that it was really more about what women wear, and I was the face of the brand. So over time, I just changed the brand into Milola, and we've been Milola for 5 years now. Yeah.
So what do you offer in services you offer here?
We do female clothing for women that wants to look exquisite, elegant, beautiful, properly attired women who wants to look themselves. We are mindful of the designs that we make that don't make women really self-conscious. Most of the customers we serve are middle-class women that are working-class women, women in their 40s, in their 50s, and their 60s, some in their 30s as well. So with this age bracket comes with a bit of self-consciousness in terms of their mothers. They don't want anything that is overly clingy, overly revealing. So they are proper apparels that make women look elegant. It doesn't take away the fact that you're fashionable, but it still doesn't make you look provocative in any way. So we offer those clothing for women in that class. We also do skincare products for women that want to maintain their color, that wants to diminish the appearance of aging. They want to look youthful. They want to brighten their color gently, not bleaching. That wants to correct any pigmentation on their skin or have some skin issues on account of being mothers. So we have complementary skincare products. Then we do hair care products as well to moisturize the hair, to grow the edges. We have complementary scents and body fragrances. All of our products is made with the intention to make a woman look absolutely beautiful and complete. It is not enough to put a beautiful garment on. It's also important to put it on a beautiful skin. So we make skincare products, hair care products, body fragrances and mist as complementary to adorning a proper Milolar woman. That's really what we're about here.
So how have you been able to sustain the two, both the fashion line and the skincare line?
Well, it comes with passion. It comes with interest. Business for me is passion, and I'm the number one customers in my brand. I'm the number one consumer of my products, so I use my products proudly. I use my hair care, my scents, my body care, my clothing. You would hardly not see me not wear my own brand. So because I love what I do and I do what I love and I consume it, I'm a product of the product. It's easier for me to blend it because I'm going to run out of products. So I'm going to produce products for people because one, I have to use them. My kids have to use them. My family have to use them. So really, if something you love is beyond money, there is deep satisfaction that money cannot fix. You would naturally find the strength and the capacity to sustain that. So it becomes easy for me, honestly.
I've also wondered how you juggle all your roles. There's too many roles that you. So how do you blend them within 7 days?
It's tough. It's tough. I literally experience mental switch every time I have to shift gear and change my heart from being a public servant to being a business entrepreneur to being a mom to being a lover to being a friend. It's a lot, and you all have 24 hours and 7 days in a week. But it takes taking it in my stride. Sometimes I'm overworked, really, really stressed out, but sometimes I just tell myself, Damilola, you know what, you're running too fast. Just slow it down. It takes its toll on my parents as well. Sometimes I feel like I'm so stressed out. I'm not as pretty as I used to feel. So, and that's one thing I do not want to lose very in a hurry. So I have to tell myself, you know what, you're breaking out, you're stressed out, just slow it down. Because your life is really your own and you're going to take stock and account for how you live your life. But primarily, I am very, very attached to the process as much as I am to the result. But for me, it's also sometimes just say, you know what, whatever it is you've set out to do, God has enabled you to do it. And you're not where you used to be. So just take it easy and breathe, then rest, and then take it again. But I never stop. I can slow down, I can rest, but I never ever stop. And because the journey for me is bigger than whatever it is that people have seen yet. I've not even manifested one hundredth of what I have as a desire. So sometimes that kind of pressure that I self-inflicted makes me really, really push myself extra. But then I also have to understand that there's time and process to every manifestation. It would take a while for all of my dreams to become reality. But so far, so good. It's been a good trip.
So how do you discover the opportunities that come from what you do and all that? How do you um, grab those opportunities to make them to?
Well, I feel life is really what you make it. I am big on faith. I'm big on manifestation. I'm a very deep spiritual person. I believe life just doesn't happen. You can design your life. Our life is like a clean canvas. Whatever you want is what you make of it. So whatever opportunities it seems that I have created them. I've created them by desire. First of all, I pray for them. I crave them. I absorb the desire. I really, really wish for them. And because the universe wants what you want, especially whatever you're asking for is a good thing and it's of good report, there's no way God would deny us that. So naturally, things will aggregate. And then something called synchronicity. It will just manifest in your space. You just be at the right place at the right time, and it will just look like you're just lucky. But no, I'm not lucky. Luck means you got something that you did not deserve or that is not merited. I am blessed. There's a difference between when you're blessed and when you're lucky. People usually say, oh, you're lucky because they want to take away the fact that you have done your work. There is no luck, honestly. I believe people can be blessed. You can receive favors, but you have to put in the work. You have to drive yourself to a point where you can literally become a walking magnet, that you can attract whatever it is that you want into your space. Sometimes I have instant manifestation of some of my desires. It takes understanding of yourself, understanding of your path, being intentional and being true to your core, finding peace in what you do and loving it with so much of your passion that even if I don't make money from this, I will stop doing this. For me, that is deeply satisfying. If I'm not making as much money and I'm able to take care of my business in another way, will I stop what I'm doing? No, I won't. So when people expect that because I wore a political hat, my business will go on, I said, no, you don't understand my driving force. It's because you think that I'm doing business because I'm hungry. That's why you think when something else is feeding me, I will drop my. No, I am passionate about what I do. And as I grow politically or in political space or in public service, in whatever form you would take, because I let God be the guide of my journey. I'm not fixated on a particular track. And as I evolve through those processes, I'm happy to prove to people that whatever brand I have set up, I need it to flourish. So I'm very, very clear about how I navigate life. And that's why it's easier for me to attract opportunities and do well with whatever chances I have.
You also been around for a while, and I know that as things evolve globally, you also like um, evolve with it and all that. So how did you survive the transition from the old ways of doing things to the new?
Well, evolution is constant. If we do not evolve, we would eventually die. So naturally, life will force you to come to terms with the realities of time, just like we're having a chat before this interview. We would naturally evolve. It's part of it's in our DNA. Just the way we cannot stop ourselves from growing, aging. We cannot stop technology. We cannot stop the human race generally from evolving. So as the human race is evolving and we're part of the human race, it naturally follows that we would evolve. But becoming conscious and adapting is a choice. There's some people that regardless of the evolution taking place in the jet age or the technology age, the internet of things, they have still maintained the old ways of doing things. They will naturally just atrophy. So if you do not become conscious and be proactive in how you respond, not react to trends, you're going to find yourself either left behind or you're going to find yourself running around in circles. So it is very important to pick your battle and say, this is how I'm going to respond to what is going on with social media, or this is how I'm going to react. There's sometimes that I post so often, there's sometimes I just slow down and I don't post, regardless of what is trending. It's not everything that is trending that I'm going to jump on. It's not, I don't even jump on challenges as a personal brand decision, because for me, it will water down my brand. I'm not going to say because I want to trend, I will jump on some challenges or some things that are jumping on, because it's important that the quality and the value that the brand represents is maintained, and people that consume our product can feel a sense of belonging with our brand. So we cannot be seen to be doing everything and anything. We cannot be seen to be signing up just any influencer just for the sake of we want to blow as the trend is. So for me, once we become consciously aware to say this is who we are, this is what we represent, and this is how we're going to go about our journey. You can pace yourself, you can pick your battles, you can adapt and adjust to the trends and the new ways things are being done without losing who you are fundamentally. And that for me is very, very important. I've been blessed enough to identify my why as to why I do what I do. So then we choose how I respond to whatever trend or what isn't. And so over time I just changed the brand name to Milolar. And we've been Milolar for 5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you offer in services you offer here?
We do female clothing for women that wants to look exquisite, elegant, beautiful, properly attired women who wants to look themselves. We are mindful of the designs that we make that don't make women really self-conscious. Most of the customers we serve are middle class women that are working class women, women in their 40s, in their 50s, and their 60s, some in their 30s as well. So with this age bracket comes with a bit of self-consciousness in terms of their mothers. They don't want anything that is overly clingy, overly revealing. So they are proper apparels that make women look elegant. It doesn't take away the fact that you're fashionable, but it still doesn't make you look provocative in any way. So we offer those clothing for women in that class. We also do skincare products for women that want to maintain their color, that wants to diminish the appearance of aging. They want to look youthful. They want to brighten their color gently, not bleaching. That wants to correct any pigmentation on their skin or have some skin issues on account of being mothers. So we have complementary skincare products. Then we do hair care products as well to moisturize the hair, to grow the edges. We have complementary scents and body fragrances. All of our products is made with the intention to make a woman look absolutely beautiful and complete. It is not enough to put a beautiful garment on. It's also important to put it on a beautiful skin. So we make skincare products, hair care products, body fragrances and mist as complementary to adorning a proper Milolar woman. That's really what
Let's also talk about how you try to. You've touched on it, but I was just wondering how you cope with your generation and when you see people doing things the other way that you think, how do you just do you try to talk to them or change them, or you just allow things to flow the way?
Well, I am also struggling with my life,
Okay.
and I wouldn't be arrogant to assume that I know better than anybody. I feel that the knowledge that is available to me now determines and influences the actions and my behaviors. So I believe that every human being have their own mandate and their scripts, that they are acting according to their own understanding. With that knowledge, I have personal responsibility to nurse and nurture people that are in my immediate environment. But I will not make it my personal responsibility to go and correct someone that is not within my sphere of influence. Because then if they rebut or reject or disrespect me, is unwarranted and I've called for it. So for me, I do not pick every battle. I choose my battle. But what is important is the people that are in my immediate environment, how do I live an exemplary life that they will naturally learn to do the right thing by what you do, not by necessarily what you're telling them. So we must learn to model appropriate behavior first and first. And two, you must learn to speak with so much conviction and you share your vision in a way that the people that work with you or that are around you can see how you lead your life and how you do your things, that they will naturally want to model appropriate behavior. So for me, will I see someone that is doing something wrong and correct it? Absolutely. If, for example, my elderly one throws something out of the moving vehicle, I'm going to stop him right there and there. You don't litter the street. That's my responsibility. That's in my immediate space. But will I see a man urinating on the street and I will just go and stop him and say, you're not supposed to? A bit of that, I may not do it, except I'm really propelled or I felt it. Just like some days somebody's driving really recklessly and I feel like this is totally wrong. Sometimes I'm compelled to interject with external issues like that, but usually I pick my battles and I just believe that you manage the people in your immediate space, and naturally, if they are better people, they will naturally influence wherever it is that they go on into. And that's how society can be reformed. It's not by trying to be holier than anybody or trying to assume the responsibilities that you have not been given, trying to correct everyone along your path. You might be doing it wrong. So honestly, I just believe that people would learn as they grow. Even through their mistakes and their folly, they'll become wiser. So you have to allow them go through their process of growth.
Lastly, how did you adjust to politics when you moved in? How easy was it? Because a lot of people believe that politics is like a different world entirely. So how do
There's a lot of myth and misconception around politics without a doubt. But it doesn't mean that the rough and the decay that is perceived to be in politics does not exist. I'll be very wrong to assume to say that oh, politics is all perfect. No, it's filled with a lot of depth and some things that is at levels. You're not even exposed to the level of some rough until you get to a particular level. So for my own level, I believe I am still faring well because I'm not deeply entrenched into it. The offices and the positions that I hold do not put me in such a very tough, conflicting, and compromising situations. So far, so good. I've fared well. And I had my core values and my decisions and principles firmly intact at the time I was going to sojourn into politics. I needed to sit down and think about, Damilola, what will you do and what won't you do? And that was very, very important. The foundation for which I set out into politics was so important to me that I didn't want to just go with the flow. I needed to know if you find yourself in this situation, how would you react? What would you do? If you have your back against the walls, what will you do? And when I made the decision on this is how far I can go, this is what I will not do, I was fine with that. So when things don't even go the way I want because of some of the decisions that I had made that can affect the outcome of some of the things that I was doing, I was willing to accept losses. So in some things you have to say, I don't want to run it this way. There's a cost to it. If you don't play by some rules, then you know are not part of the rules. So you have to be willing to say it's okay. I take my time. At the right time, I would manifest into or grow into that phase when nobody can hold it away from me anymore, or nobody can be sticking it in my face like they're negotiating with it. So it's all of that and more that made it easy for me to journey into politics and still fare well so far in it. And I think because for me, I also see politics as a calling. I may sound very sanctimonious, but honestly, it's a calling for me because a number of times when I look at everything going on in politics and I say, "Ah, not sure I want to do this thing again." When I sleep and wake up, the desire is strong. So there's a pulsating desire, there's a source of my inspiration that is not even dependent on my mental reasoning, that the drive is beyond my preferences and my decision. It will just keep pushing me and say, you have to do it. If you don't do it in the next few years, when you sit back and you look at what you could have done differently, you don't want to regret that you ran back just because you had bottlenecks. Just find a way to navigate around it because there's a purpose for why you have been led into the political path. So with that understanding, I just take it one step at a time.